Social vote coming in there with a big favour in going on the BDS side, 73% there. I'm not sure it's going to be quite that clear cut.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, we haven't seen all that much of DarkZero. I saw them struggling a little bit in one of their games earlier on. They were down 3-0, and it was like, oof, is this the start of the end for the NA teams already? Everyone's kind of been hyping up LATAM. I know there's quite a few also on the timeline getting big about NA's chances. They are the two dominant regions, I think it's fair to say, although Empire has come in like a dark horse out of nowhere and said, hey, don't be forgetting about us. It's not just the NA and LATAM teams that you need to be worrying about, and maybe this one will give us a good taster of what's to come in some of those NA EU games tomorrow. Bans coming out. First one taken away is Thatcher by DarkZero. Ace going to step up straight after.
Interesting choice on the Ace ban, Des, because we were speaking about this earlier. We've seen a lot less Ace getting picked today. We've seen Thermite taking the preference for the hard breaches now that the smoke grenades have moved over onto Thermite. So Ace will go, as will Mira, and we will see the final defender being taken out, which is Valkyrie. A reasonable choice on Kafe. A lot of external cams that can make your life a nightmare, and particularly one or two in and around Cigar and Piano as well that can be very, very difficult if not found.
They can. We've seen a few cheeky ones placed out towards, I believe it's the southeast side, latched onto the building, and my God, can it feed some interesting jump outs, especially in APAC, where we saw that more aggressive style coming through, and clearly, at least on the side of BDS, they're saying, let's sack off that aggression, throw it to the wind. Instead, we're going to bring on the Nomad and say, no craziness. Let's keep things a little bit more calm and composed. For a second, I was curious to see if Shaiko will be the one picking up the Habana here, but given they only want the one hard breach, that is going to go across to their resident support player in Brede, who has had an absolute field day so far, Ace.
Certainly has done, and we're heading in then to Kafe, round one. We're going to be straight down to kitchen and dining. We've got DarkZero on the defence to begin with. We know that Kafe can be reasonably kind to the attackers from time to time, so I wouldn't expect, to be honest, either team to really run away with this, Des. I'm expecting something reasonably evenly paced.
Nice little tweet there, Bay, saying I've been looking for revenge ever since DarkZero brought my boys down to the losers bracket. Absolutely with you.
You know, they were shaking a fist whilst writing that tweet.
Just angry typing on
you kids!
With a hammer the whole way through. And it's one of the fun things to note as well. We sit here and talk about the NA EU Smack Talk. It is a bit of fun. This is a global broadcast. Ultimately, we just want the best Siege possible, because if you saw any of the games earlier today, B&H just love watching good Siege. That's ultimately what it comes down to. But let's see how this one kicks off then. 10 seconds in, the attack is underway. And on the side of the defenders, Ace, I'm just seeing a lot of intel coming out here. You've got the Maestro Village, you've got the Yokai drones coming through. Kind of, I guess, the early warning system that might come out of the Malusi, for example, and Skies to be able to delay off any aggression with that smoke.
Interestingly, Des, I'm just looking through the stage 1 stats very quickly for DarkZero here on Kafe. Played it twice, won one, lost one. Defensively struggled, to be fair. Played Bar and Cocktail twice, Train and Dining once, did not pick up a single win on those sites. The only defensive wins they have came on Service and Kitchen, 75%, which was 3 wins, 1 loss, and Reading and Fireplace, which was 50-50, 2 wins, 2 losses. So nothing too spectacular here in terms of defence, which is about right for Kafe. We do see, as I said, it be kind to the attackers quite often, but BDS, they need to come in and take advantage of that. They need to come in and get this locked down now. They're attacking onto kitchen to begin with. They've got themselves good control of the middle floor here, starting to open up those vertical angles, and that's early in the round. We are only 1 minute in here, and that's a lot of pressure for DarkZero to absorb.
I'm so glad you talked about it. It's my little hidden, it's not really hidden because I talk about it quite a lot. My metric is the 1 minute 30 mark is where most teams on average will start opening up the second floor, looking down into the ground floor to open up these vertical holes into kitchen. The fact that we've seen BDS get ready and get started on that with an extra 30 seconds to play with means that when it comes around to thinking about the execute, things are going to look absolutely peachy. They shouldn't be rushing in with just a dying few seconds to play with. Should see a little bit more time.
They've absolutely shredded that floor in, Des. They've got Buck and Sledge going absolutely wild.
Are we now a floor removal evaluation company? To what level have you destroyed the floor in Kafe?
That's a 9 out of 10, Des.
I'd love to know what a
nobody's getting the security deposit back on that one.
I hope you got your assurance in, boys, because my God, are you going to need it. Either way, pressure coming in down White Stairs. You've got Sky sat in, not currently playing in behind the shield because of all these grenades singing in, doing what he can to dodge and dance around. He's being hit by grenades, by flashes, by drones, by a couple of players looking to come and swing him out of here, but he is holding firm. Fair play to him for staying composed under pressure. He's challenging one man and turning straight for the other angle, and this simple hold is wasting so much time, Ace. 30 seconds remain, and that time that G2 had earlier on is now slowly starting to dissipate and run away from them.
Oh, Skies has done a great job here, no two ways about it. Really held up that freezer push. We're down to 20 seconds and he's still in place. He's going to play that position now until he dies. That's the end of it. He will take somebody with him with the shotgun if he can do, but we've got... The skill comes in and look who it is. Takes down Shaiko. Skies on the shotgun. As I said, he is not to be moved inside of this. He gets himself a second Des on the SMG before shut down, but BDS getting the plant down. Let's not overlook that fact. Out comes the Yokai to shut it down, and that is a good defense from DarkZero there. Many layers, and they, whilst allowing BDS a lot of map access early in the round, they were able to close that one out.
Really, really good shutdown. The Yokai, we saw it early in the round thanks to medics highlighting it for us in the prime position that if it was not dealt with would cause them untold damage later in the round, and that is exactly what it did. Even with the plant going down, stood in the absolute visibility of the evil eye that was sat on Kafe. So just really good stall tactics, I think, if nothing else, even with the pace by BDS to hold outside restaurants towards VIP. Wonderful stuff. Let's see if BDS adapts coming into round number 2, or maybe even round number 4 if we get down to that site, because for now we're going to step into Reading and Fireplace. And an interesting little 6th pick coming in here is a Malusi. Not a Malusi, an Aruni. I keep on doing this. The Aruni, 6th picked away for Mint into the clash.
So, Reading and Fireplace. So this is the other site that DarkZero have had defensive wins on in Stage 1. Beyond that, they are moving into territory where they haven't managed a defensive win. So BDS, they don't need to panic just yet. That was DarkZero's best defensive site that they've just lost on. So not the end of the world. They come in here now and it's a 50-50 record for DarkZero. But given the way that they've just played, I think there's definitely a win in this for them here. And if they can go 2-1 on the sites before they have to start rotating around sites again, they go 4-2 overall on the half. And I think that's a good start for DarkZero. When we look at their attacking side, it's a little bit more positive for them from what we've seen back in Stage 1. So DarkZero, for me, get this round, and I think you really start setting yourself up some solid foundations for challenging BDS here.
It's a good challenge in the first round. BDS, the ones I think who have got the onus to prove something here and show that this isn't going to be an absolute stomp for the NA team. Again, first NA EU fixture that we've had. Always an exciting one to see dish out. I think that was the C4 that came out of Hyper but got shot out of the air. Clearly decided BDS, a little bit too aware of what's going to come out in that instance and make sure to deal with it in quick time.
Well, we've seen it used a few times. It's a great success, haven't we? But teams, they get switched on and they know exactly what is likely to come flying out of that hatch. The difficulty is getting the timing just right. You want to catch somebody coming off the rappel because there's absolutely nothing that they can do about it at that stage now. BDS looking to try and get that wall open into Piano. Not able to at the moment. The mute jammers are in place and preventing those X-Kairos pellets from being activated.
And it's going to stall them down and slow them up, and that seems to be the kind of plan, is try and trip BDS up at every possible turn to slow them down and see how much you can burn through. Good dipping away by the Jaeger here of NJR, just letting those ADSs do all the work, consume all the grenades, and even staying away just in case an extra one comes singing through that might escape the grasp of those ADSs. You've got Mint inside a Cigar. You know they can't get this wall opened up, so can't comfortably get into Piano without going past him. This just makes life really, really hard for them. And sure enough, Brina tries to make something happen, dives for it, but Alems, 2 kills for himself as he storms his way through into White by the looks of it, collects the 2 kills that they needed. Now Mint has to probably back away out of Cigar, and just through that small play coming out of one player, BDS have gained half the map that they need.
Mint is still hassling the top floor here. He is not going to allow them to just get the territory that they want and to start opening up those vertical angles, and DarkZero are doing a great job of wasting time up on the top floor here. It's very impressive. Now the yellow pin comes out but will not allow the shots to rain through. NGR, he has finally dropped himself back to the mid floor. We've got Mint on the white stairs, and that is it now. DarkZero, they're in the final standers. 45 seconds left to go. 3 players all heading back towards site. BDS have got the access.
Oh!
Oh, and a kill from NGR. Absolutely delete Shaiko on the vertical angle. NGR take a bow.
A lot to speak about with NGR, of course, joining this team just before the start of the last stage with Hot and Cold. Maybe controversially, some would say being replaced here, but making an impact to start things off, bringing down Shaiko. Never going to be a bad one that you'll say no to from a relative newbie that joined into the team not too long ago. We're sat in a 3 versus 3 with 15 seconds to play. BDS again have been stalled out into the dying seconds here, Ace, and this is where Rafal tries to go aggressive. Stepping in, no idea what's going on to his right. Alems with a triple kill in the round. Can he find himself the 4th or the 5th? One's a clash, it's going to be hard. No, he can't find NJR. He's done enough there to tear BDS a new one. 2-0 to DarkZero.
Clash there, just showing why you need to keep that operator alive into the late round. Clash becoming more and more powerful as that round goes on. In a 1 versus 2 situation like that, there's absolutely no choice for Alems but to push on into site and just try to get kills, just try to do something. With 5 seconds left to go, you're not going to get the diffuser down. You're not going to get through that Clash shield. Alems had a great flurry in the mid-round and really did make a go of it there. 4-2 so far in the game. He's done well for BDS, but not been able to support them through. The problem at the minute, Des, is we're 2 rounds in and we've got 3 players on BDS without a single kill to their name.
Well, look at Alems. You could see the body movements. Not so much aggressive, but very vocal.
Animated.
Animated's a better word for it. Very animated, very enthused about the state of these 2 rounds. And after you found a triple kill for yourself and your team still can't walk away with the round, I'm not too surprised. They know they can do better than this. Kafe has been their kind of go-to map today. Hasn't worked out maybe as strongly as they'd have liked so far, but here they need to start making a difference. Yes, it's the attacking half, but like so many teams today, when 4 or 5 rounds at the start in the first half of the game are going across to the defenders, it's a real slog to drag it back in the next side.
So this time we will be looking at our 3rd site here, the tertiary site.
I love this setup, by the way.
Tertiary site for DarkZero, which is going to be mining room they choose. They don't want anything to do with bar and cocktail, Des, and to be honest, it's not too much of a surprise. That top floor site on Kafe has been one of the least defensible sites inside of the competitive map pool recently. So opting not to take the top floor. Now, if DarkZero can steal this round here, Des, and go 3-0 up, it is absolutely massive for them.
I'm getting so excited about this setup because normally you'd see like a castle barricade on the double door going into Cigar and a shield on this side of it with a mute jammer to help, but they've gone for the full works, Ace. 2 ADS inside a piano, 1 inside a Cigar. The Aruni laser gate, the castle barricade, they have 1 in this window that's now been taken off. They've also got a laser gate there. They've got a shield, they've got mute jammers. They have gone for everything on this top floor because they know that with piano control, they can defend both of these sites quite comfortably. It's not going to be a big issue for them. So for BDS, the challenge is breaking this apart, and that is one way of doing it. Forget about worrying about a shotgun player playing around the corner. Just charge straight in and shoot him in the head.
You send a sledgehammer. You just send Shaiko in to clear out the man, and down goes Skies. 5-4 now for BDS, and plenty of time on their side. But lots of work still to be done. Unable to open that piano wall once again. It's something that they've really struggled with so far, is dealing with the mute jammers there. They do find a little space there where they can get those X-Kairos pellets activated and start applying a bit of pressure. Now we see Aruni just streak past the white corridor window there, manages to escape with a life, but Mint meanwhile gets a nice nitro kill onto Renshiro, shutting down the sledge just underneath that new hatch, and that leaves us 4 versus 4, 1 minute 15 left on the clock, and DarkZero, they're going pretty well here for a 3rd choice side.
Ooh, I mean, Mint knows that they're trying to push down red here. They feel like they've done enough to force them out of piano. The drones managed to get through, and yes, there's still quite a bit of utility laying around, but they don't care about that too much. They're much more focused on how can we get through, how can we get control of the downstairs, and with those longer angles being set up on red stairs, the vertical control now in their possession, this is when you start thinking about a plant inside of mining.
50 seconds left to go, and this is the calm before the storm now. BDS, they've got to think about pushing into sight, and here it comes. Alem's getting aggressive. I'm not sure they're aware of his little position there, and the challenge comes in. He finds the kill onto Mint. Shaiko doubles down with a headshot onto Hyper, and that leaves us 4 versus 2 here. And BDS, they are really turning the screws here, upping the pressure on DarkZero. 1 versus 4. NJR gets his first out of those 4, but the diffuser does go down. He has to find some kills here, at least 2 if he wants any chance, but no. Lem shuts him down. BDS lock out the first round for themselves, and that is a good start, but DarkZero aren't going to be unhappy there, Des. They've gone through their 3 sites, they've picked up 2 wins. As I said, that puts them on course for a 4-2 half, and that is a good start on defense of Kafe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, probably a little bit more happy if you're in BDS's shoes here. They broke that attack, the defense open. I think once Skies died inside a cigar when he was out behind the shield like this, he didn't expect ever for Shaiko to just come charging in so early into the round and take him out, and suddenly all this utility that you've committed upstairs with the laser gates, with the castle wall, for example, they committed so much to protect him in there, because let's not forget as well, if you fire an Ash Charge or a Zofia Impact at that castle barricade on the double door, it's going to get consumed first and foremost by the laser gate. So everything was committed around Skies being able to hold that position. He lost it in rapid time. Nice idea from DarkZero. Let's not say lol, they lost the strat super early. It's not how it works. They had the right idea. It is what it is. That's the same tweet that we saw earlier on. AK Sound Engine, like the tag.
Heading into round at number 4 then, and this is back to kitchen for DarkZero. No wonder, given how well they won this site. They will now hope to move back through the same 3 rotation I would expect if they win here in kitchen. We'll see them head back to reading, and then finally they'll no doubt give mining another try. I get the feeling DarkZero, they're going to swerve that top floor at all costs, and given the situation now, there is no reason why they would have to head up there. We've got Mute Jammer just being played into the white corridor there. It's going to be about denying drones access, and that would suggest there's going to be potentially a bit of top floor pressure this time from DarkZero. BDS were able to move in very quickly last time, Des, and start ripping that floor up, and that's maybe something that DarkZero have recognised and thought that is problematic, and problematic is Eclipse at the minibar window there trying to get himself a little peek. There is damage done to Renshiro, but BDS, they managed to fight him off.
That's more like a kid that's just woken up on Christmas that's in a lounge full of presents when you expected to have 1 or 2, because he looked out that window, there were 3 guys with guns staring back at him, and he was like, yeah, don't really fancy going for that attempt, boys, I'm out of here. Backs away, and it does feel for DarkZero that their go-to attempt in all these rounds so far has been, let's waste as much time as we can on the top floor, can we get an extended hold, except the first one. And again, it feels, I think, on the side of DarkZero, like rather than conceding top floor so quickly, because let's not forget, BDS were in position to start assaulting vertically at the 2-minute mark. They actually want to do a little bit of fighting here upstairs, but look at this. They must have no idea that Alems has managed to get in, because Skies is nowhere to be seen here inside of VIP. That's going to tear apart any chance of having a similar defense to what they had the last time round.
That's a beautiful headshot from Alems there. What a great reaction flick. Now NJR just looking to apply pressure from the cloakroom there on towards the main door. He's just going to get himself vaulted up, make it an unusual angle for anybody pushing in to challenge him. Shaiko is looking to close him down here. I don't know if NJR's aware that he's being pushed from the other side. No, he's not. And Shaiko will lock down the kill. 5 versus 3 now, and the pressure's starting to mount on DarkZero inside of the site. But Skies, he manages to find himself 1 before being traded out by Rafal. And only halfway through the round, things are falling apart for DarkZero here. Rafal, he is entrenched in sight and able to get the diffuser down. Eclipse starts the fight back with a headshot onto Shaiko. But now they are playing against the clock, and they're going to have fractions of seconds there as the final 2 kills come in, and BDS, they lock out the round and they tie things up 2-2.
Much better. Look at how animated he is this time round with a smile on his face. In the last round, not so happy. This time round, much better. And no doubt when things are going as well as they are here, you have no reason to be upset if you're LMs. Things are coming together. The things that you said, the words that you've released have had an impact. And there, a lot of it was about, I think, getting inside of VIP early on and just completely cutting off that rotate down white stairs for DarkZero. They had to threaten dropping through the fireplace hatch, in which LMs had the long angle on them. While Shaiko was doing cleanup duty, DarkZero really struggled and fumbled to get their way back to the site. So much so that Eclipse had to come down red stairs, having to make full use of every way of retreating back to the site. BDS just cutting them off at the neck before they could do anything.
This is perfect for me here, Des, to be honest. As a viewer, I'm looking at this and thinking 2-2, game on, let's go. Yep. As you said, it's going to be a big audience on either side of the Atlantic backing their respective teams here, and we just sit kind of nicely in the middle. We just want a nice, exciting game of Siege to bring to everybody, and that is exactly what we're getting. We've had great players on both sides of the table. This time, DarkZero going to be applying a lot of attention again to that top floor. It is down in Reading Room that they will go. They're not going to try and chance their luck again inside a kitchen. They decided that that one didn't go too well, even though it was a considerably different defense there. As you said, Skies did a fantastic job inside of VIP round 1, didn't play there in round 3, and then it's been a little bit of a struggle. Sorry, round 4. It's then been a bit of a struggle without him locked in there, so not sure about that defensive strategy change.
Looking over the stats as well, Lems with 3Ks in both round 2 and round 3, so making his impact heard. Here, well, round 4, as we saw, no one really walked away the multi-kill. It was definitely a more coordinated team effort coming out of BDS, and DarkZero weren't really able to adapt to the adaptation coming out of BDS. We'll see if round 5 sets anything up any differently to before, but to me, it just screams they're trying to play this more again, roam-heavy sort of strategy with the Mozzie and the Mutes. Not content playing just behind their C4s on site. They want to get up in the faces of BDS and contest them as soon as they even think about walking in the building.
Just heading onto the rappel now. BDS just looking to apply some pressure to those windows on the white corridor particularly. Renshiro is going to move himself straight into the bottom of white stairs as he opens up the garage there, and I think he just dipped himself back out of sight so he could get on the drone. Yes, we see Renshiro's drone moving in underneath, so something that BDS need to be aware of. They might just face a little bit of pressure from both sides in a vertical sense here. If they're trying to play in and around the mid floor particularly, rather than being pressured on the top floor, they might actually just find challengers coming in from an unusual angle underneath. Now, got a little bit of pressure from the window that's just preventing Eclipse from moving too far out of that train. If he does, he will find himself being challenged. We can see Lems just holding that angle there. He just moves away. I don't know if maybe he had a little bit of intel of a potential push out of the reading door. Now, in comes that charge. Eclipse knows exactly where it's come from. Puts a hail of bullets towards that window and takes some damage off of Lems, who is finished off with a nitro from Skies. Great team play from DarkZero there.
LM's is going to be absolutely raging. Let's not make two amends about it. Thought he could cuss the guy, took some shots, think, bloody hell, guys. Right, I'm still alive. Get C4 straight after. Animated to a T. No doubt about it. It does bring us into a situation, though, where DarkZero, being at 5-4, with about 45 seconds to play, are definitely favourites to walk away with this round, unless we can see some magic step up, and I thought Shaika might be the magician they need, but it turns out it's Eclipse. This one's going to be an absolute rollover. DarkZero picking apart the BDS attack here. They're not even going to get to even look at the site, it feels like, in this round. Rafal starting something back, but a 4-on-2 Tim, 30 seconds. I don't see how this one comes back to BDS's way.
No, absolutely not. DarkZero have had every answer to the questions that BDS have been asking, whether it's been the push onto top floor, the pressure on bottom floor, whether it was Lems working in from the windows. It really hasn't disrupted DarkZero from what they wanted to achieve on the defense here. They've had their angles, they've locked them down, and they've played it fantastically well. Breeder's looking in just for a bit of a kill to carry a bit of momentum maybe into the next round, but he won't get it as he peeks round the corner. NJR shuts him down with a nice headshot. That's going to be DarkZero taking themselves a lead here, 3-2, and they are back in front. But I've got a feeling, Des, this one is going to be back and forward until the very end.
Saw BC stood behind them all just a second ago as well. The coach, of course, flying over from NA. All these boys collectively, 6 staff members per organisation, 5 players and the 1 backroom staff members allowed to be here. And that is BC. And I think talking about the coaching style of DarkZero is always an interesting story, because we spoke about this ourselves off stream the other day a little bit, about the philosophy of how he takes this team, that it is about a more conventional sports methodology of, you know, the coach's word is final, but the boys, it's all about working together as a unit. It's about pulling together. And we've really struggled to see that, I think, manifest into success for DarkZero, a team that has been chasing that success for the longest time. Sure, it's got a couple of first place finishes here, but nothing major. A story that we can compare directly into BDS, who, as we said earlier on today, it's now or never for these boys. This is the best chance we think BDS have got with this current roster of being able to go all the way through and potentially win SI, especially on home field, home ground even.
Absolutely. I mean, as you say, two teams that really the fortunes are fairly similar in terms of they've got everything set. They've got the players, they've got the support staff, they've got everything they need, and it's just, you feel like it's almost waiting for that seal to break. With DarkZero, I think if you get that first major, if you get that really big victory, then they're just going to be unstoppable. They're just going to unleash this sort of, you know, holy hell on the entire Siege world and just start taking tournament after tournament. They've just never had that moment, and it's exactly the same for BDS. They are certainly two of the big names here at SI21, and both very capable of going on to take the whole thing.
Think about the flick that we've seen as well, where previously it was SSG, TSM, DarkZero, the three teams always in the conversation in NA, and then Oxygen come out of nowhere and just steal away first place in the last NAL group stage. No doubt loads more to say about that team tomorrow when we get into casting some of their matches, when the rest of NA will also be making an appearance. Let's jump back into this one for now. I think for DarkZero being at the 3 rounds, you're not going to complain too much on either side here. If it ends 4-2 or 3-3, it's not exactly uncomfortable. It's not a 5-1. It's not a 6-0 like we've seen out of some other games today. I think both sides won't go away complaining too much. Again, a big focus on the Intel style setup, but I'm looking towards the castle and the Kaid here, wondering where this setup is going exactly, where they've got these castle walls down, and how much time it is they're trying to waste.
Well, as you say, I think 3-3 will be satisfactory for both teams. I feel like BDS might just come in a little bit stronger on that, feeling like they can turn it round.
No way is he staying alive.
That's unfortunate. They went for the jump out on a Lems, haven't locked it down, and that leaves the man outside, and that was the easiest kill of the Lems' life, because what you don't see on your screen is the fact that NJR will have had a nice big operator icon above him to say that he was outside of the map and give a Lems his location, so he just had to step around and pre-fire onto him behind the AC unit, and that gives BDS a big advantage here. And given that it's a site that DarkZero failed to win previously, it does not make their life any easier at the minute.
Denies the C4 player to begin with on the long angle from that noob out window, and then steps out, well, doesn't step outside, drops outside after NJR somehow whiffs the freest kill in the world. Of course, there is no down but not out state when you're on the rappel. You are instantly killed if you are brought to 0, but doesn't connect enough bullets into the Zofia and pays the price for it. They do finally shut down Ray Boss Alems himself, though. 4 versus 3, and then all the kind of roll out and functionality now falls onto the remaining 4 members of BDS, who between them, not really got the most kills. 7 kills across 6 rounds so far. This is the time for you boys to step up and show that this isn't the LM show.
Certainly need to. We've got Renshiro in there just remodeling once again and showing us exactly how much of that cafe floor can be opened up, looking for vertical angles, but to be honest with you, he hasn't really disrupted this DarkZero defense too much yet. They haven't had to move around. Shaiko manages to find one onto Eclipse, leaving us 4 versus 2. Pressure coming onto Skies on the pulse as well. He detonates a pre-placed nitro there, but will not have any joy this time. 20 seconds left to go, and BDS, they need to make a move and do something, and that's exactly what Brede does onto Hyper. Skies manages to get one, but you feel at this point like it's likely an impactless kill. 1 versus 2, 10 seconds left to go.
Diffuser.
The Diffuser is down, Des. Skies could play for time here.
No way is he pulling this back. Got the 3K, it's Shaiko and this is one, peeks around the corner, can't quite find it. Time's about to run out. Skies has clutch set up something special. How on earth have BDS let that one slip through their fingertips?
That is an unbelievable play from Skies there. I cannot overstate how good that play was on the pulse. He had his feet rooted in a corner, Des. He should have been locked in place. Somehow, he's got himself out of there. He's got himself back active and into the round and found the kills that DarkZero needed. And what an absolute treat that was to watch.
Tragedy, more like, if you're a BDS fan there. Holy hell, look, 4 versus 1. The swing comes out, fair play, that one you can forgive. This one pushing down the stairs, where else is he going to be? That other wall is reinforced up by the castle barricade, unless he was thinking he was going to peek out through red after killing Brede in that spot. But it is just constant 1v1v1. We always say there is never a clutch unless the other side makes a mistake, and for BDS, because of the clock, because the diffuser wasn't in hand, there were lots of unforced errors there that they had to step into, or maybe even forced errors in some cases. Really well played by Skies, and now things are looking spicy. 4-2. That could be the round maker, the difference maker in 4 or 5 rounds' time.
Certainly could. Skies, just as you say, playing it perfectly there, making the right decision each time and just baiting BDS into those 1v1 challenges. And that's how you've always got to look at a 1vx clutch situation like that, is breaking it down into individual gunfights, because as soon as you go into a crossfire, forget about it. Your life is over. And even if you get the kill onto one, you'll always be traded by the second. But no, Skies, they did not allow that to happen. Used his castle barricade well that was up in front of him and just moved around, recognised that the diffuser was down. He knew he had to take the final fight. There was no option there, but still hit his shots and won it out. Fantastic from him, and what a display. That for me is probably going to end up being one of the players of the day, Des.
Absolutely agree. Now we step into BDS's defense, and they're going with a very characteristic defense of BDS is the way that I look at it. They always love putting a shield inside a stock, facing in towards Piano, opening up the majority of the wall that looks into Piano itself and contesting that longer angle, as Medics is now very kindly going to demonstrate. They've reinforced the left one, left the other one soft. The whole reason for this being you can't move very freely inside a Piano while the walls are opened up like this, and that shield just helps to give you, I suppose, a very, how do I call this? A thrown together mirror window. Very scuffed is the word I'm looking for, I think.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's an alternative.
Budget mirror, as Medic said in my ear, yeah. Yeah,
it's just an alternative to the mirror window. It's another way of gaining the same sort of information and access to potentially challenge. But what I'm a little bit confused about the site choice here, Des. We're looking at Kafe, and I've already commented on this top floor, bar and cocktail. I'm looking at the EUL stats. We haven't really seen BDS play Kafe inside of EUL Stage 1, but 37% win rate overall, and that is out of 27 rounds that have been played up on this top floor, Des. Only 37% win, so basically, give or take, 1 in 3. And BDS have taken it as their primary site here, and I'm a little bit surprised by that. This is a good opportunity for DarkZero to come in and extend their lead.
Could well be, as long as they get this execute right. I think back to teams like Na'Vi, you have excellent executes on this site, dropping into the hatch with smoke plants, all the rest of it, things like that. Not quite sure if DarkZero have got the same panache about them, but time will tell. There's 3 members pushing in from red. And I imagine on the side of BDS here, they know what the game plan's going to be. If they're not taking Piano, they're definitely pushing into the top of red. You can just now rotate your resources, things like the Clash, over to face that direction if they want to.
Pressure coming in already then as the Hibana pellets will explode. Exkyros just taking out that Maestro wall, and what a great kill underneath from Elems there. He needs dealing with down on pillars. He's going to take Hyper out, and JR will do exactly that, closing down Elems for the trade, but it just bounces backwards and forwards. Skies once again with an important kill. I think everything has been a trade so far in this round. There's 2 versus 3. We find ourselves 30 seconds left to go, and DarkZero need to make a move. They are at a man disadvantage, and they need to get in and find themselves at least a kill here. They're playing into a deployable shield and the Clash, though. It is certainly not going to be easy for them, and the Clash is taking a lot of attention. 15 seconds left to go. Shaiko battling out of the bar back store, finds himself 1. Rafal it will be to finish off Eclipse. If not, it would have been Shaiko, and that is a great defense of the top floor. BDS proving me wrong and overcoming the odds.
Literally zapped to death. How about that? It's not really the nicest way to go down, but execution, bullet to the head, take your pick. Either way, they're out the round. Really good hold, I think, there as well with the Clash. Going to give them challenges, and if nothing else, I had a good chat actually with the coach of Ape earlier on from the Challenger League over in North America, and he was saying, I think with the way that DarkZero are playing a lot of Blitz right now, the natural response for some teams will be things like a Clash. And even unprompted, without the Blitz being brought through, you're seeing the Clash being used excellently there. Stalling things out inside a bar because, again, they did not feel confident taking control of Piano because of the setup inside a stock. It's almost like BDS with the Shepherds and DarkZero with the Sheep, and they were saying, come my children, follow me this way into the electrocution gates. Have fun with that one.
Almost like the Pied Piper, just bringing them forward. Now, we're going to be heading downstairs. We're going to kitchen and service this time around. And it was a bold move from BDS taking that top floor. It is the worst defensive site that we've seen in this map. But look at what they've done now. They've got that one locked down, so they can head in to kitchen, they can head into reading, and they can think, actually, these are now much stronger sides. We can potentially string 3 rounds together here and find ourselves at a considerable advantage if we do that. That would leave them 5-4 if they can get defensive wins in kitchen and reading, which are the stronger sides. There's a lot of work to be done. It's a big if, a big but. It's going to be what's on BDS's mind, though.
Absolutely. Well, downstairs we go. Muting the Mozzie. think we spoke about this before, with the kind of drop-off of the utility meta, you're not seeing as much Jaeger and Wamai being paired together. But what we are seeing the return of is this Mute and the Mozzie. I think because these teams are now looking to move a little bit faster, given the utility has all died away, the best way to slow them down, deny them the info, remove the confidence in them to push aggressively. Otherwise, it's just blind firefights that is never going to end well for you as the attacker unless you are vastly superior in that gun skill, of which at this level, everyone tends to be pretty even. And given the fact there's 2 C4s on side, you're absolutely not going to be saying no to that either. So that's why I think we're seeing a lot of this setup coming in with a little bit of denial from things like the Aruni laser gates.
1 C4 has been used by Shaiko there to no real effect on and around that red hatch. Eclipse has got himself established on the landing and moving down the stairs now. The drone will go out ahead of him to try and locate the defenders that are playing in and around this mid-floor. BDS putting up a little bit more resistance than we really saw out of DarkZero. I'm thinking particularly in their successful defensive kitchen, where they allowed BDS to pretty much take over the top and mid floors very, very quickly and just fought them from the ground floor instead. Now, BDS, as we can see, have pretty much dipped away, and they're going to allow that same access to DarkZero now. The question is, how well will they absorb the vertical pressure?
NGR being droned down white stairs a second ago by Skies, so good coordination there rather than trusting him to go and push him blind, making sure that they can at least make something happen as a collective and there is intel being collected. In fact, every single time I've seen NGR this round, there is a drone at his feet. Always someone making sure that he's safe in a spot, making sure he can get in there and drop that utility down, the breaching rounds, the breaching charges. Everything goes here to help get this floor opened up. A little bit slower, admittedly, Ace 110 in, and we've only seen a few of these holes open up on the floor. It's been a slower start for DarkZero, which I always worry is going to cause them issues when it comes around to the execute.
It is, and I'm just wondering where Mint is at the minute. Obviously, he's on the sledge. We've got NJR in there using a lot of utility to try and clear out that mid-floor and open up the vertical angles, but the sledgehammer that could do it very quickly is, as you say, down at that bakery door. But nevertheless, NJR getting the opening kill onto Renshiro there, taking the Mozzie down, and the pressure starts to mount in towards bakery. DarkZero getting themselves in aggressively, and they're in a position to open that breach up there, but they need to get a wriggle on. They've got 30 seconds to get inside and get that diffuser down.
Starting to get the red wall opened up by the looks of it to be the focus. Sorry, the bakery wall. That red wall is slightly soft, I think, so that longer angle is being held by Shaiko to contest into prep. So the right play being made here, but they need to tuck themselves into the left and get this plant down inside of K1. Otherwise, this could turn out to be absolutely catastrophic. Shaiko must have stepped away at just the wrong time because that plant was about to go down for just a second, but it's now cold on the ground. And Shaiko wanted to try and challenge onto Eclipse. They know that he's here. There's 3 seconds left. I don't see how they can do it. Mint going in for the plant. If they can get the kills, it's going to be lights out. They've brought it all the way back over. DarkZero in the dying seconds do enough. Bring down enough members of BDS. The plant was going down regardless. Great end to the round for them.
DarkZero find themselves a haymaker in the dying seconds there, and they put BDS down in that round again, giving themselves that little bit of comfort, that 2-round barrier. They are now 5-3, and they're heading towards a potential win here, Des, which DarkZero, they've had a little bit of a mixed bag so far today. Coming into a matchup against BDS, they will be very happy with the position they sit in at the minute. And the other thing we've got to say, Des, we came in saying that BDS were the strong side out of Europe and one that would potentially be fighting for the hammer at the end of things. They could be looking at having only 1 win at the end of day 1.
Quite scary when you think about it. Meanwhile, Empire sit there with 3. Who'd have guessed?
And that's what happens to form books.
This is the thing, we all said it coming in. 15 months of being absent of international play, and when the teams all come back together, it's just like banging a bunch of things in a pot and hoping for the best. You're never quite sure what's going to come out the other side, and it definitely has been the unexpected. 5-3 to DarkZero. A couple more rounds, and they're taking the game away from BDS, which, much as it breaks my heart, does temporarily put NA ahead of EU.
It does. We've got to say it does. There's no other.
Gotta be honest.
We've got to sit in the middle, as we said. You know, we've got to sit in the middle.
Yeah, totally unbiased casters, not aligned to any side. Yeah, that's
We've got to sit on the fence with this one. And DarkZero right now, they're outplaying BDS.
They are indeed. There have been some good rounds out of BDS, but looking back over the history, a lot of them have come down to a lens with his 3Ks, for example.
Yep.
Round number 3, round 4, and round 7 have been there so far. the third round, sorry, was the one where he walked with the 3K. The fourth one where it was definitely more of a team effort when they changed their attacking style in terms of getting control of VIP. But again, so much of that was spearheaded by Alems. We need to see the rest of BDS come online here. It's been very quiet, especially for Brede and Renshiro, who between them only have 3 kills.
And I think that's an important point, Des. If we look at the two lowest kill players on the side of DarkZero, they've got double. They've got 6 kills between them. And yeah, you're not always having every player on every team coming in with 10 kills plus by this point in a game. It's not physically possible, but you've got to look at the bottom of the board sometimes and just say how much of a contribution is coming in there. And right now from DarkZero, it's much more of a team effort.
It is, it is. Only 1 or 2 rounds I've really felt that way from BDS, but with this setup looking towards the Vigil, what Striker can do out there with a bit of support from the Mute and the Mozzie, we've seen this combo out of G2 a couple of times today as well, is enabling you to dance around the intel game coming out the other side. That's why I really like, to be fair, that Mint has brought along the Jackal here, something that we've seen Joystick do quite a few times today for Empire. He just wants to get in there and make sure no one's out there trying to be too cheeky, and sure enough, he's going to spot out just the man he was looking for, Shaiko on the Vigil.
1 minute 30, rapidly approaching here for the halfway point, and BDS, they are still entrenched up on that top floor for the time being. They're holding on to the sort of cocktail balcony area, just again preventing vertical angles down into the reading room particularly, which is the angles that DarkZero will wish to use. Shaiko's going to drop away on the Vigil for the time being. I think BDS, they are being pushed back from the roam quite easily, Des.
Does feel it. I think they're not really engaged in too many aggressive firefights, especially when you've got this Jackal on side, which is really going to remove the element of surprise that you might be able to deploy, I guess. C4 comes out, no one on the window, unfortunately for Renshiro. I think it was more an optimistic just hope in terms of throwing that out. They might catch something, but elsewhere, it's Alems again, striking big. He's been involved in so many of these opening kills. That is the 5th one he's been involved in, and he's now 4-on-1 on the entry.
Going very well on the day, all around 14 and 6. You know, there's no two ways about that, and I dread to think where BDS would be had Alems not managed to have this performance so far. The interesting thing when I look at it for stage 1, there's BDS, when getting the opening kill on attack, have got a 73% win rate, so they come through and win 3 out of 4 of those rounds, but it's not something that they're being able to deliver today. As you say, Alems going very well on the entry, but they're just not able to convert that into rounds. We're seeing so much resilience coming out of DarkZero and such an ability to play at a man disadvantage.
Here we go. It's going to have to be the all or nothing push here through the reading doorway as well. It has been blocked up, but Alems, look at that! 3 kills falling his way out of nowhere, a 4K in the round. This, we keep on saying, and this is the concern almost for some of the LATAM teams, I think a Team 1 might say this, that you can't rely on this Alamau to do all the work. Well, here's BDS, a team that we were looking at talking about as grand finalists, relying solely on Alems.
I think this one is going to go the distance, certainly in terms of regulation time. I think we will see all 12 rounds. It could be a 7-5 win to one of these teams. It could well be yet another B-Stream game going to... I think we're going to have to label this stream, instead of Stream B, it's going to have to be Stream Overtime.
We're going to need it. It's starting to feel that way. We were talking, what were the names that you came up with earlier? Stream Awesome and Stream Incredible?
Something like that. I don't know, that was a long time ago.
A long time. It's a lot of time ago relative to today only, maybe. It has been a long day when you think about it. We've been broadcasting nearly 12 hours now.
Yeah, you and I have been on this desk.
We've been on this desk all day. We haven't disappeared. That's the way it's been. We've had a ball doing it, though.
Certainly have. I wouldn't have it any other way, Des. Coming in and seeing the day 1 of 6 Invitational unfold in front of us. And I just love it. I love keeping an eye on the other stream and what games are going on and the results coming in and how it's all shaping up. And we just get to do that for another 5 days in the group stages before we head into the playoffs. But we've got a game to finish up here first. Round 10 we come into. Back up to that top floor for BDS. They did, of course, win it back in round 7 on the defense, so they're going to try and replicate that now and get themselves tied up at 5-5. DarkZero, I am sure, will try to spoil the party, but they didn't really make too much of a dent on this defense, I didn't think, last time around, as they didn't manage to force Shaiko out of the bar back storage area. They didn't deal with the clash. They didn't really manage to unpick the little web that BDS had weaved themselves.
And looking at this and seeing the clash is always the biggie. We saw the damage that it did in the previous round. I want to know what the answer is going to be on the other side here, looking probably in towards something like the impacts coming out of the Zofia. And I guess with that last round going the way of BDS, it's suddenly not so tight. Imagine if this was 6-3, we were sat at the conversations we'd be having now. Very different conversation, if not for Alems getting that 3K at the very end of it all.
Certainly would be. We've got Skies on the Hibana just using those double pellet options to get the 2 hatches open, and that is at least access gained to top floor, but there is a lot of work to be done yet before they can start dropping in. In comes the drones. We've got Alems playing very close there inside of the little cigar shop box. He's actually going to dip away from that one. He had the shotgun in hand and was in a potential position to make the challenge there for any hatch drop, but decides, no, I'm going to think better of that one. I'm going to touch that hatch drop and move away right now. He's got 17 kills. He knows what he's doing, Des, and he thinks that that is not the challenge to make.
Right now it's just holding, and this is again where I had some concerns in the previous round that if you're trying to push in through Piano, you're going to be greeted by the storage hold that we so often see coming out of BDS. Again, the shepherds of BDS are just guiding them and saying, by all means, you want to come and step inside a cigar and then push your way in towards the 3rd floor, that is totally fine, Burst, because that's what we want you to do. We're guiding you in and you don't even seem to know it.
They've got Alems underneath now after taking that hatch drop, of course, and let's not forget he's got a nitro in hand. He's playing on the mute, so he's going to be looking for an explosive kill from underneath. He's more than likely, Des, going to try and keep himself down alive there for as long as possible. Yes, you can take a kill, but if you keep that in hand and you can deny a plant with it, then all the more powerful, and that is dangerous. Rafal very quickly pushing himself forward into Hyper there, and Hyper just having to back away and loses the fight with Renshiro as he tries to do something around that shield, but as soon as that diffuser went down, Rafal was like, nope, this is mine.
Look at this, he's like a god of death. 4 times in that round, he just walked at someone, stared them down, and the bullet hit him out of nowhere, and I was like, okay, that happened 4 times. He was just a walking intel invincibility thing that led to some kills. By the way, here's the triple kill that we missed from Alems at the end of round 9, in case you want to see it line up. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, lining up like Skittles at a bowling alley, Ace.
The thing is, like, that situation is not always easy.
Look at this. Look, he walks to someone. Someone gets shot by a bullet like 2 seconds later. Bye.
I just love the aggression from him as soon as
and here again,
went down.
it's like, hi, give it 2 seconds, bullet, bang.
I love it. That diffuser went down, he was just pushing forward straight away. He was like, nope, I'm cordoning that off. You're going nowhere near it. The interesting thing with that Alems triple kill from round 9, Des, we saw a very similar situation in EUL, if you remember. It was on Clubhouse. We had Rafal down in Dirt Tunnel. I think it was against Na'Vi, I want to say, or G2. Can't remember which. They were pushing down.
Team.
Yes, it was against another Siege team. They were pushing down. It's been a long day. They were pushing down Blue Tunnel, and they came in through Blue Door. They had no idea that Rafal was in Dirt Tunnel, and they were just in front of him, and it was a very different outcome. He didn't get one of the kills because in that situation,
he panicked, didn't he? Yeah.
It's easy to just, you know, you're like you say, you're like a child in a sweet shop. It's like, what do I grab first? And he was sort of a couple of bullets there, and he didn't get any of them. Whereas Alems kept his cool beautifully there and just went from one to the next and got each of his kills.
The composure. Speaking of which, DarkZero are taking a tactical timeout to rebuild theirs. There's clearly feeling now that we're up to 5-5. It looks so good for them just 2 or 3 rounds ago. Things are slowly bleeding back over to the side of BDS, and sat at 5-5. We were talking about this being stream overtime. I think it might be heading that way, Ace, if this carries on, given it's 5-5.
Certainly could be. I mean, would we want it any other way, Des? You know, as we said, don't want to keep rehashing it, but it's the first EU-NA clash, and, you know, nobody wants to see that be a rollover. We know how close these, you know, regions are in terms of skill and ability, and they do things in different ways, but they both know how to get the job done, and I don't think anybody would have wanted to see less than an epic battle that is unfolding in front of us between these two.
Alrighty, let's get back into it. Overtime. Tactical timeout is over. We get.
That's it. You've wished it on us. It's done.
Honestly, mate, it's stuck in my head.
You've just spoken it into existence.
The reverse caster curse, as we often say. Yeah, that's the way it may shape out to be. But first, let's find out how it goes in the basement. Well, basement is the kitchen. Honestly, mate, our words are scrambled as all hell in this final game. We're going downstairs. Let's see how it shapes up once again. I'm looking towards Rafal on the Echo. We already saw back in round 1 what DarkZero could do with that operator when tactically placed. And we'll see if it has an impact into the dying stages of the round for DarkZero, or if they'll go in there with more than just 10 seconds left on the clock.
You can see here, BDS are getting the utility down on the top floor, Des. They are not going to give DarkZero anything easy on the attack here. They're going to look to be aggressive and right up in the face as the Mute Jammer going down inside of the cigar shop. Shaiko looking to set up behind the bakery counter this time. That was, of course, where the majority of the push came from last time. So I think that's a good idea. We'll see whether he's got any sweet treats to dish out for DarkZero.
Look how selfish he's been with all 3 ADSs sat there as well, saying none for anyone, all for me. That's the sign of a greedy frag, if nothing else. It's going to be that top floor start coming out for DarkZero. The last time round, we commented they were quite slow. BDS, quite quick. Quite a change in pace for both sides in comparison to what we saw when attacking this downstairs site. But I think with the bakery setup, you might see him rotate those ADSs out. If there is no push coming into bakery, you may as well move those off and make them be of better use elsewhere in the map.
Skies again, very quickly moving forward, looking to apply pressure onto Piano. Lems has got the hatch open in front of him. Detonates a pre-placed nitro. I'm not sure. We didn't hear an explosion.
It got shot out.
I was going to say it may have been shot out.
Red-pinged it.
We certainly didn't hear any explosion. So Lems, that's going to be unfortunate for him, but he will live to fight another day. He's certainly still got his life. He's got his rifle, and that's all that he needs. He's got the hatch open in front of him, ready to drop away from the fight.
We just appreciate I haven't even clocked how many kills he's got.
It's just ridiculous.
18 kills in 10 rounds.
Inside 10 rounds.
Jesus. I mean, carrying at this rate, if we go all the way through to max overtime, that could probably be pushing up towards 30, and that would be our new LAN record. That'd be wonderful.
The thing is, it's the number of deaths with it as well, only 6 deaths. Now, that's going to be an extra one for Renshiro as NJR finds him. Hyper locks down Breeder with a headshot, and it's 5 versus 3 all of a sudden to DarkZero, and BDS, they need to rethink the strategy here, Des. They're going to have to hold on to Kitchen for 1 minute 20 with only 3 men left on the board. Vertical angles getting opened up left and right. Whoa! From Mint, take a bow, sir, because that was a wonderful headshot to shut down 11. I
had a joke lined up about are you a kind of glass half full or glass half empty kind of person, because glass half empty, this is a 3 versus 5. Glass half full, Alems can get 5 kills and put himself closer to that record. But when you're getting domed through a wall like that, no more to be said. Rafal and Shaiko have got it all to do. Sure, the Yokais are helpful, but in a 5 versus 2, DZ have no excuse to leave this in the dying seconds, in which case you turn all eyes towards Shaiko to make it happen. Or Rafal can just hit a naughty shot like that at the same time. Whatever works for you, mate. Take your fancy. This is getting out of hand right now, Des. This is an absolute treat in terms of the skill that we've got on display. Skies, he comes in with a kill onto Shaiko and then starts to get the diffuser down. Right now, he seems like the man who can do it all for DarkZero. Mint finds himself another onto Rafal, and what a great round from DarkZero. They will give themselves the opportunity to close this one out, Des. They have the match point, but they only get 1 bite at this cherry. 1 bite at the cherry, as Ace will always say. Tick that off your card. I need to go in with a bingo card, put it on Twitter so everyone can play along one day. I'm not going to say anything on that day. Well, you won't know. Or I'll come up with some new ones. I'll just block you on Twitter for the day. Post it, you'll have no idea what's going on, and then at the end of the day, we'll reveal how right we were along the way. At least we'll both have each other blocked then. Well, that's not very nice. I feel outdone by now. I was just joking about bingo, Christ. Anyway, 6-5 to DarkZero for BDS. It's looking a little bit dicey. You mentioned it, you might walk out today with 2 losses. I mean, for potential grand finalist hopefuls. The performances that they've had, though, you just... It wouldn't read right, would it? You know, BDS have played well. BDS have had some great kills. They've had some good performances. So to walk away with 2 losses would be unexpected, to say the least. Lem's scary on LAN every time. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. A lot scarier when he's got a bullet put through his head that he had no idea was coming as well. Mint, honestly, just taking the man's life and honour all in one go there. Let's see. It was beautiful. Absolutely love it. It's the filth that we come here to see. Let's see how this next round plays out then. Round number 12, the last round of regulation. If BDS take it, we go to overtime and stream. Overtime is alive, ladies and gents. Otherwise, DarkZero will win the first duel, the first showdown between NA and EU, and walk away with a much-needed win, handing BDS their 2nd loss of the day. I was really desperate, Des, when Mint got that kill. You'll know a little bit better, but obviously I'm from the north of England, and there's quite often the word mint can be used to mean something really good. It's yeah. I know that. Yeah. And I really wanted to say it, but I thought it's going to be far too niche a reference. Everybody like, you wanted to say, oh, that's mint? Yeah, everybody would be like, yeah, we know it was mint, we just saw him get the kill. Oh, you can say like it's minted. Like, I don't know. It couldn't have been a better player for it anyway, but
back into the action. We're 40 seconds in here.
Oh wait, he's just so northern.
We've got DarkZero establishing themselves up on the rooftop. Shaiko looking to challenge up through the skylight there. We've got laser gates on the top floor as well. BDS, they really don't want to give up any more map control than they have to here. They're fighting high line, Des.
Yeah, I always commented on the slowness of them, but they've already shown, I think, a couple of times over that slowness to them isn't a big deal. If that means they've got to start opening things up at about the 1:10 mark, not a problem at all. They'll happily execute with about 30 seconds left and do so with the precision of a surgeon. The big key focus now is going to be removing these players from BDS that are playing much further out towards Cocktail. Very common to see 2 or 3 players playing behind a bunch of reinforced walls that are all facing out towards the west. And once the time comes, you drop through the hatch, you get yourself downstairs. It's all about keeping as many of you alive as possible whilst forcing time and utility to be consumed by the attackers.
Rafal just locking himself into the corner of Cocktail there. He's going to drop down the hatch. I was just about to ask the question of whether that was open. He's playing the Aruni, of course, so he would have been able to do it with a melee punch anyway, but will scramble away and get himself onto the mid-floor to keep fighting. DarkZero have done pretty well for time here. It's not too bad. They were getting themselves established around the 1:30 mark. NJR is looking to push onto these white stairs now. The one thing missing from this DarkZero attack, Des, is a kill. 55 seconds left to go, and they could do with thinning the numbers of BDS here. The man out inside of Train could be a problem.
You say a kill, I say a drone. I really wanted something at the feet of NJR then, as we've seen so often in this game, to get him going. One C4 comes out, a second comes out, and this one does the job. It connects onto Skies, the man who would have been going for the plant. So some adaptation to be made now for DarkZero as we come towards those dying 30 seconds. Everything's being opened up by both sides. True reconstruction works on the go here on Kafe, but what matters is where that diffuser goes or where the kills land, Ace.
Hyper drops down the pillars area and looks to find the man inside of mining. He's just holding an angle. I'm not sure if Hyper is convinced there's somebody there or not. We can see BDS player just holding himself around the corner. Lems gets one. Hyper does find him, but then no, he gets
Shaiko!
How does he miss the kill? NJR starts getting the diffuser down. He's got little choice with time ticking away. Hyper does everything he can to try and find the wall line, but it's too little too late as Renshiro and Rafal finish things off. Des, we've cast 3 games today, and this is the 3rd one that's going to overtime.
They just stack up. We love our bangers. Our voice is going to absolutely hate us, by the way. By the end of...
It's all right, we just need to be quiet until tomorrow.
I tell you what, going to get to the end of the group stage. We have then 2 or 3 days until playoffs. Not speaking to anyone.
Absolutely not.
Just not saying a word.
And we've got a quieter day tomorrow. There's
there's 2 games, but there might be one absolute banger of a game in the game that we do cast tomorrow.
And that's fine.
We'll take it.
Absolutely.
Our voices and
I think at this point we know that it's going to go to overtime. This is an absolute minimum.
Well, we'll see if it's a curse on us or a curse on the stream, because this is the B stream tomorrow on the A stream, let's not forget as well. Things change around a little bit. We're all bouncing back and forth between the streams as the days go by.
Certainly are. And bouncing back and forth has been the score on this one. We've gone backwards and forwards with each team having their opportunities and their advantages, but ultimately it comes down to this. 12 rounds have been evenly split. 4-2, 4-2 finds us at 6-all as we head into a best of 3 overtime to decide who, for tonight at least, is the better of EU and NA, with BDS facing off against DarkZero. It will come down to this. BDS will have 2 defensive rounds. There's an argument there, Des, to say that that's a little bit of an advantage for them, because we've seen the defenders just having that bit of an edge so far on Kafe. Best of 3, first one to get 2 successful rounds is the winner.
We jump back into round 7 is the way that I look at this, because this is exactly the same as BDS started their defensive half. On the top floor, the lineup almost identical, bar one tiny change. Alem's not playing on the... I'm going to do it again here as well. The Aruni, instead playing... Honestly, I don't know why her name escapes me so often, but it does. Not playing on the Aruni, instead playing on the Mute. The other side, everything is identical. And the big difference maker in that round, Alem's got the opening kill onto Hyper and really set things going up for them in style with the removal of the Zofia early on. So let's keep a really close eye on how it starts off here. If it starts playing out the same way, Alem's finding the first couple of kills for the team, suddenly you're feeling a lot more comfortable as a BDS fan. But if DarkZero take this, it's squeaky bum time.
DarkZero just ticking boxes there. Mint getting the hatches open. Alem's going to hold himself inside of the cigar shop for the time being. We've got quite a few DarkZero players up on the rooftop once again. It's something that we've seen from them. They like to try and get the attack pushing in through the hatches, but they're not scared of the rappel either. We have seen them try to use that cocktail balcony window and others. Now, it looks like there's going to be pressure coming in from underneath instead, and it's always one that fascinates me, Des. I've seen it quite often where the attackers will bring a buck along, get themselves established in reading, and just absolutely destroy the floor of Cocktail, and it just completely stops that east side of defence that we tend to see.
Vertical play on this map is such a big deal. I know we've always spoken about it from the perspective of the attackers, but you are right, the defenders also have a big role in that one. Here it is about the attackers trying to unseat them, and a bit naive there to go chucking a grenade up there, knowing that there's probably going to be an ADS or two around RenZero. Well, the outer goes, as we always say, and what does he do? He just lets it roll through the floor, takes off the head clean from NJR. That's the starting kind of kill that you want.
See, and that's the danger. You've got RenZero playing in there, and that's what the Buck can do. He can move that Maestro around. But one way or another, DarkZero, they've got themselves the kill that they needed. But with 1 minute left on the clock, they've still got to worry themselves about Rafal on the clash. We've already seen how well BDS can coordinate this. Rafal goes in, he feeds out the pinpoint coordinates, and in come the bullets, and that's something that DarkZero need to be very aware of coming into this final 45 seconds.
Reminds me of playing Assassin's Creed where you mark someone out and like an assassin just appears out of nowhere and kills the guy. Like, where the hell did you come from? It's like that with bullets, and of course we can talk about Assassin's Creed because it's an Ubisoft game and I absolutely love it. Hyper loves pushing up onto Shaiko. That's the second round in a row that Shaiko's been taken down, seemingly no contest. About 50 HP taken away, the smoke burning out on the white stairs. He's down to a slither of HP and he's facing off against the clash. Could Rafal be gifted with a second electronic kill coming through in this game? We'll find out when Hyper tries to push him. Push him, he will, but he's still getting zapped. It's Brede. He's nicked it. How dare you?
3 versus 2, 2 versus 2 as Eclipse finds one onto Alems. 10 seconds left to go, and that is going to be Rafal now, all alone. The diffuser there on the ground though. He's got one down. It's 1v1. He just needs to waste the time. He's got it, Des. He closes it out, and BDS win on account of that timer ticking away.
This goddamn clash. I love seeing it. Previous round, the God of Death. This one, oh, that's a heartbreaker. Because you know you've got to run to try and make something happen with the diffuser as well, but they're in a spot where Sledge is charging in, gets down, you're like, man, get that shield out, you win this round, and sure enough, it goes the way of BDS. DarkZero, who it feels like for the majority of this map have been leading and in charge, are seeing it slip away. It's 7-6 to BDS. Last chance Saloon boys to take it all the way through to round number 15. Otherwise, BDS will be taking the lead for Europe in this EU versus NA battle.
But it's a fair point that you make, Des. This is the first time that BDS have been in the lead. So far, DarkZero, they have been out in front, whether that be by 2 rounds, 1 round, whatever it is. They've always been the leading team here, and now BDS, they've flipped the script, they've turned it on its head, and they've come and got themselves the advantage. And ultimately, Des, it doesn't matter what's happened in the last 6 rounds. If BDS take the lead once and then close the game out once, that is it. That's all that is going to matter in the history books, on the scoreboard, however you want to look at it. That is what will count.
Mint on the Echo again always makes me nervous. We saw what they managed to do to BDS back in round number 1. Tell you what, it feels like overtime has been a real trip down memory lane so far. We're starting here in round number 4.
Like the greatest hits.
It has been the greatest hits of this map so far. Round number 7, now we're stepping back into round number 1. We'll see, of course, if it plays out the same way. And while the clash in the last round was highly impactful, back in round number 1, it was the Echo that made a big difference, but was more looking towards the hold coming out of DarkZero into VIP and Restaurant that made the biggest difference. So I'm keen to see if it's a similar hold from DarkZero, or if BDS have a different idea on how to attack it. With them starting to opening out towards Bakery, I thought maybe that was going to be the play, but no, the roof is the destination.
If it's greatest hits though, Des, we've got to have that Mint wallbang, and then we've got to have a 1v4 from Skies. Surely.
Can you really fit that into 2 rounds?
Fit it into 1. Let's go. Mint gets the first kill, and then Skies just finishes them off. 5 versus 5 still, as we don't have an entry kill for you yet. 7-6. If BDS can take the round here, that is it. Match done. They will take the win, DarkZero. There is no more mistakes, Des. They have to close this round out to give themselves any opportunity to win it. They're going to need to get 2 in a row here. And the last time they did that, Des, was round 5 and 6.
Quite a time ago, that.
It's quite a time ago.
A lifetime has passed since then. There really is. Going down memory lane in these rounds, it feels like, because it's been quite an extended game going up towards what feels like it should get towards that 15th round. Really depends on this defense coming out of DarkZero. They've got quite a bit of attention out inside of Bakery with the shield deployed out there. The Echo was there, I believe. The Maestro getting that Reinforcement down once again. Now still barricade down, I suppose I should say. And probably now looking to rotate out elsewhere. Some more of that barricade, so as an early warning system if we do find anyone from the side of BDS rotating there later into the round.
You can see vertical angles being opened up. We saw this previously with DarkZero defending here on Kitchen, but it didn't really gain BDS all too much. DarkZero was still able to close it out. NGR, he's got himself down there in the court check, just going to hold on to that position for the time being. And right now, BDS, all their time is being spent on the mid-floor. We asked for it, Des, and they've delivered. Skies, he's locked in VIP. There's 1 minute left to go. This is where he thrives.
He survived a war back in round one. Grenades, players, bullets, everything. He just seemed to always come out the victor no matter what BDS threw at him. We'll see if he can hold him there much longer or if BDS just completely ignore him. It feels like they're trying to press him out here, but with the Yokai also stepping in to give assistance, they're not going to worry about that. And how they clear this out is going to be the biggest question, I think, because unless it goes out into the open like this and then potentially goes for a firefight, he shouldn't be able to pick up the kill onto it too easily.
Mint just trying to use those Yokai drones before losing them. Get a stun. There we go. Skies peeks around the corner, finds the shotgun shot and takes Rafal down. That's the Nomad gone, and it's advantage DarkZero. 20 seconds left to go, and surely there's more. Hyper gets one. Shut down on the repeak as Alems moves around and trades it out, but time is ticking away, Des. The sand is running through the hourglass. 3 versus 3, and we've still got Yokais in play. Breeder, he's getting that diffuser down. Can the Yokai be effective in time?
Oh, he's got it, surely.
And he get the second, surely he's seen it. There we go, NJR comes in with the double kill, and that was close.
They must have forgot about him inside a coat check, I think, there, because he wasn't challenged at all by Shaiko like he was previously. Steps out quite comfortably, pushes in towards Kafe and gets the spray down. That's all you need to see, because they were so obsessed with what was going on with that Yokai.
I was. That's why I missed NJR coming, because I was so like, what's happening with the Yokai? Shaiko's just shot it.
Don't worry, mate. I was watching it go up and down like a yo-yo as well. I wasn't watching NJR there. I was keeping a very close eye on whether or not that Yokai was going to be able to make it in time, because I thought he was going to miss. Unfortunate, but you know what it guarantees us? Round 15.
Round 15 max overtime. That is, Des, we could have cast 45 rounds today, and we've cast 44.
I remember the first series we ever cast together went all the way to 45 rounds. It was a small lad in the UK. Definitely a glow up here now that we're stood in Paris, of course, casting on this, but it was a 4.5 hour slog. I'm sure there's some of the boys from the UK watching this stream as well who remember that day. I remember it. I'm not sure if I loved it or hated it. I think it was a mix of both given the time of day. We got through it together. It's conditioned us for days like today, Ace, is the way that I look at it.
Certainly has it. To be honest, Des, let's be honest, 44 rounds of the action that we've seen today is an absolute pleasure.
Look at the pick!
And the blitz is coming out, Des. You picked up on it, you said that DarkZero,
I tell you what,
more of it, but look at the pick from Rafal. We've got the clash, we've got the blitz.
Tanner is going to be in my DMs like, I told you so. He was like, a guarantee DarkZero are going to make use of it today. They've been using things like the Zero and the blitz quite liberally. In fact, I've just got the message from him, blitz versus clash. He called it. Fair play to you, buddy. Let's see if it works out, because I was slightly doubtful. I just kind of thought to myself that a team like BDS is not going to let something as cheesy as a blitz run them over. This is the time to see if it can or not. Let's see if his words hold true. Thank you very much for that one, Tanner.
I'll tell you what, it's a real roll of the dice here from DarkZero. This is a Hail Mary in the final round. This is, let's just see what we can get out of this. Let's see if the surprise factor can work in our favour. And I'm here for it, Des. I think sometimes fortune favours the brave.
You know how these shields sound when they're charging somewhere, Ace?
It's like a train coming in, Des.
Nino. Oh, there's so many stories behind this that you guys will love to hear one day. Maybe we'll go into it a little bit later, but for now, let's keep a very, very close eye on Mint, because of that aggression. Blitz doesn't work by hanging back and being quite passive. I remember seeing Pengu make use of it against Na'Vi a couple of times last year, and their answer also was things like the Clash that can stack up against it, slow it down, stop him being so effective. But there should be drones at his feet, there should be players supporting him, because he is the linchpin of this strategy. And my God, is it a risk to bring it out in round 15.
It really is a risk, and here goes Mint looking to push himself into Piano, and he's heading straight towards Rafal on that Clash. We could see the shield off here, Des. We could see exactly how it goes down. Rafal will have a natural sort of advantage in the situation because the electricity will damage Blitz even through his shield, so he has to have somebody alongside him that is able to assist and try to impact on that clash. Even if he flashes him out, it's still reasonably easy for Rafal to hold him at bay. 1 minute 15 and we are waiting with bated breath now for this DarkZero execute.
Got to be so careful of where he looks on these stairs because they know that the Clash is there, but I don't think the Clash knows that he's necessarily hanging here. NJR could play massive spoiler. I wonder if they even know that there's a Blitz on the field. I'd hope so. C4 comes out onto Hyper, not walking away on 10 HP like in the previous round. We go into the final 60 seconds of this whole match, Ace, and it's 5 versus 4.
This is what it all comes down to here on Kafe. It's advantage BDS with the Zofia gone, and that could be big, Des. Zofia, of course, having the utility to deal with the clash. They will now not be able to instigate that shield break quite as easily. Shaiko goes for a nitro kill, will be unsuccessful. NJR just looking for that vertical angle, trying to pressure. They've got the verticality that they need. They can start applying pressure, but they are attacking Des onto the mid floor. They need to get themselves inside of reading. Eclipse finds Renshiro for 4 versus 4.
Oh my god!
They're all inside of the utility room. Breedy finds NJR. It's going to BDS, Des. That's 3 for Breedy. There's 2 more to be found here. And we've got Mint Skies. They're the only ones remaining. It's fallen apart for DarkZero in round 15. And BDS close it out. They burn the timer and they win the game.
Oh, well, they tried, boys. I will always commend a team that is willing to try. But BDS, they had the answer. And after seeing a clash for most of the